Can one person change the world? Everyone has grappled with that question at some point in their lives. In fact, that might be the most formative and interesting question for somebody to sit on. Is one life so small that no matter what we do, we get swept away in the storm of 8 billion others? Or is one life so big that no matter what we do, we trigger a chain reaction that touches every corner of the earth? I won't pretend to have an answer. I don't know. With hypotheticals that massive, I doubt I'm ever going to have one. But what I can tell you is this: read between the lines. As with most things, it's not about the destination, but the journey to get there. About the process. Whether it's weightlifting, traveling, or simply growing as a person, it's not about the peak, but the process of getting there. And today we tackle the biggest summit we can find: the process of changing the world. You could never start climbing the 29,000 foot tall beast of Mount Everest without taking your first step. And in this case, you could never start changing the world without just you. Yes, specifically you, not some general second person you or some abstract inspirational you that people talk about in speeches. No, I'm talking about you, the physical breathing person listening to this podcast right now. Your time is up. I don't know if you can change the world. I have no idea, but I know that you can change one life. You probably already have, just one. You know that too. And maybe you're embracing that, and maybe you're not. But if you ever want to get near that summit we talked about, you have to take the first step. Even if you can't save them all, save one person. Most people are scared of the word volunteer. The problem is not the role, but what we have projected onto it. We associate volunteering with obligation and not fulfillment. We treat volunteering as a contrast to employment, not as a function to discovering our life purpose. We look at it as the absence of things: money, direction, enjoyment, prestige, rather than the catalyst for those things. Fine, you can have your beliefs. But you know what? I'm not just going to sit here and say volunteering is for everyone. Not because certain people aren't good at it or wouldn't like it, but because not everyone deserves to be a volunteer. That's right. I'm flipping the narrative. You want to think that volunteering is some fallback plan? Be my guest. But don't call it meaningless just because you never tried or you were too afraid of the path less traveled. Volunteering is not a consolation prize. It's a privilege, and not everyone earns it. Entertain me for just a second and imagine that maybe volunteerism is not the absence, but the presence of something way more important than your bank account or your titles. Something that you have to work so incredibly hard for and that will reward you in ways you could never imagine. Volunteering is helping that one person. It's the discovery of purpose. It's the process in action. And it's how you start climbing that mountain. But don't take my word for it. In fact, let's step back for a second and hear from others who have seen the system in action. Mensajeros de la Paz is an NGO in Buenos Aires that develops initiatives to support children, elders, and other groups in need. Today, we will be hearing from Avery, a fellow volunteer at Mensajeros, as well as Maggie and Leslie, who have supervisory positions within the organization. Let's hear what they have to say.
So I was really passionate about community service in college, and I spent a lot of time volunteering on my campus and in the community where my campus was. And I think the transition to working full-time was a bit challenging, just because suddenly you are working 5 days a week, every day, all day, pretty much, depending on your job. It's hard to find those pockets of time when you can really go back to the volunteering that you love to do and feel like you're making a difference in the community. Some things that I'll be bringing back to my job from this experience are definitely how to work with different people in different languages. Communication isn't always easy, but it's really fulfilling when it does work out. And I think just a reminder to stay in touch with things I'm passionate about or things that I care about. I do feel like I was pretty distanced from volunteering, living in New York City and working full time. I think, anytime that you can sort of give back and feel that you're really making a difference in someone's day is really fulfilling. And I think this will be a great opportunity for me to recharge before going back to the United States and figuring out what I'm going to do next.
Bien, yo creo que el voluntariado da la posibilidad, me parece, de probar algunas cosas, probar intereses, y me parece que abre un poco la perspectiva, esto de probarse en un ambiente, probarse en otro, capaz que uno no siempre tiene la posibilidad de elegir en qué trabajo, pero con el voluntariado tal vez uno tiene posibilidades de eso, de probar diferentes ámbitos, temáticas. Creo que enriquece para la vida profesional, personal, y ayuda después a seguir tomando decisiones y elecciones. Un rol que está, que hay que poner en valor y escucharlo. Por eso yo también les decía, como ideas que tengan y cosas que vean son bienvenidas para seguir pensando el espacio y construirlo entre cada persona que pasa por acá, ¿no? Para mí hay algo como del voluntariado que siempre está bueno pensarlo también en función de los intereses de cada uno. Pensar la manera de buscar un interés propio y meterlo en alguno de los proyectos. Creo que hay algo de usar el interés propio que hace que sea más rico el voluntariado, como sea sumamente interesante para vos y también para todos los que les toca cruzarse con vos o con otros voluntarios. Y después aportes, lo que cada uno trae, traer alguna actividad, traer un juego nuevo. Se han armado el calendario o estos proyectos de entrevistas con cada uno de los concurrentes. Todo eso es hecho por voluntarios, empujado por voluntarios y enriquece a quienes nos quedamos también acá, ¿no? Está buenísimo.
Desde tu experiencia laboral, ¿cómo puedo el voluntariado influir o aportar en el mundo profesional?
Me parece que es el punto de partida, el voluntariado como experiencia para empezar a marcar. Me gusta este tema, me gusta trabajar con esta población y me parece que es un punto de partida. El siguiente paso para mí es la responsabilidad de formarse, capacitarse, para, más allá de si intervenimos desde el voluntariado o desde el trabajo formal, poder darle también lo mejor a los viejos y las viejas, a los concurrentes, los viejos con cariño le decimos. Como que son pasos y cada uno hace su proceso, ¿no? Que es una experiencia sumamente enriquecedora. Lo tomen como una responsabilidad. Voluntariado es un trabajo. Desde el lado que si uno se involucra desde ese lado, me parece que es una experiencia de crecimiento profesional. O sea, el voluntariado siempre es enriquecedor, pero si uno aparte aprovecha que Mensajeros tiene un equipo que en general te da todo desinteresadamente, también termina siendo una experiencia formativa. Mira, me parece que es un espacio súper rico y Mensajeros en el club de día a los voluntarios y voluntarias da flexibilidad de intervención. Entonces yo los veo a ustedes y me parece que justamente la persona que lo quiere aprovechar, como por ejemplo estás haciendo vos, que trabajás con los viejos, las viejas, haciendo entrevistas, me parece que termina siendo más rico y que Mensajeros, por suerte, acompaña todas las propuestas que ustedes traen. Pero yo incentivaría que el primer paso sea el voluntariado. El voluntariado te abre puertas a querer seguir haciendo otras cosas, profundizar. Me parece es una experiencia muy rica y que lamentablemente a veces no está tan valorado.
I think something that I've been coming back to a lot during this experience is that I'm so fortunate and grateful to have this opportunity and that it's a choice for me to be here and I'm able to come to this beautiful country and get to interact with the beautiful people that live here, through all ages, but specifically the seniors who have seen a lot of different things in their lives and lived through a lot of different eras. So I do feel really grateful and I try and come as energized as possible and as open as possible too, because obviously with different cultures comes different experiences and things that might push you out of your comfort zone. But at the end of the day, knowing that you're just surrounded by people that are good people and that care about you has been really helpful to kind of shifting to living in Argentina for the few months that I have been.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias.
No, me sentí como en un examen. Espero que
Un 10.